I just got again, that's a confidential thing that I talk about. I just got a witness that contacted me, and I told Barton about it. But there's several hot spots in LBL. But I'm going to tell you something I'm really worked up about, other than something that prompted me to come out, was we got a man, a husband and wife that disappeared on Trailhead that have never been found in LBL just recently, was the last 2 years, 3 years. And no, 2 years. Now, hot spots, it don't get no worse, as my country folks say. It don't get no worse than Cobb County, Jimtown Road. They put gag orders on the doctors at the emergency rooms and operating centers. They know for a fact what the poor girl, the statements before her death, and the autopsy and stuff. And folks, this wasn't no pit bulls. You can hear every story. We just heard another one out of another state recently. They always now, just like in LBL, it's a bear that's got mange. Well, now everything is being reported in these hot zones that we're speaking of. Oh, it's pit bull. The infamous pit bull ripped and tore that poor lady apart. And then they'll put 2 or 3 witnesses on TV. Yeah, this man's pit bulls all. They're holy terrors. They jump over the fences. And this description I'm giving, y'all done seen this in the last week in Putnam County, and I forgot what county that was, or state, but it's not our Putnam County here in Tennessee. But hot zone Tennessee, yeah, right now is around Jimtown Road here in Tennessee with all the things that's happening. They got witnesses that have come forward and have gave statements. Oh, we saw what killed this one, or we saw what killed that one. Oh, was the bear? No, it walked on 2 legs, and when it ran off, it ran like a gym athlete.
Oh my God!
Running the Olympics on 2 legs.
Barton, I wish just remember Justin Decker. I had him on. He discussed this, and I also had Jody Cook on, and we discussed it, and we went over the autopsy reports for both Amber Miller and Tony Arns. And when I had Jody Cook on, right, we were kind of going over it. We felt like, I just felt like it wasn't what they were saying as far as like that man's dogs did that. Both of the woman that was killed, both of her arms were pretty much ripped out at the shoulder, and only muscles and tendons were holding together. She had 42% flesh loss, and there was several other wounds. So many, according to the report and recording what was shared on the news, was that she had so many wounds in her body that they lost count at the hospital. So I just didn't believe that. This was 2 reports. His was in April of last year, and she was killed like 2 months later, I think in June or July of 2021. So, but it just didn't make sense. But you said that there were people now who came forward, and that this was there other things in that report? I guess there was probably some things in an autopsy report that were not really covered, or that were not put in the report, like the official one that was, kind of got leaked out. But what is it about that? You said some people came forward and told.
They had witnesses actually come forward, and they had to recant, just like in the state of Kentucky, where they forced the grandfather of that little boy that was packed up a cliff and was eaten right in front of his grandfather and killed. The grandfather had to recant his story, and then you'll take notice that the Kentucky State Trooper that originally he was the public relations officer, was replaced and shipped and no longer the public relation officer of the K9 attack in Kentucky about 2 or 3 years ago. Over on Jimtown Road, and I want to address this, and this old cat's going to go crazy when he hears it. You got a disinformation reporter out there that is absolutely working to keep these stories shut down and disinformation. He's going to talk about any witness, and I've seen him where he talked about me in one case, but there's a disinformation office out there that claims to be, and he is a reporter, and he has shut down virtually every witness and discounts their witness testimony and states that these were dogs. I don't know how people can be saying this. And how come they served? Let's ask everybody this. Why did they serve a gag order on the attending physician that verbally spoke with his patient, and the woman that passed away, God rest her soul, and I wish there was justice for her. but she died, and she told the surgeon, her doctor, everything, and they served a gag order on him so that he could not speak to the public and he could not address this issue. I just hope that little reporter that's out there that's doing the disinformation in that county hears me, and I want him to explain to me why there was a gag order served on that doctor.
Wow. And y'all are hearing this from a law enforcement officer that's telling you, like from the inside, this was not a dog attack at all, by far.
Yeah, and he's speaking about the Cock County, Tennessee, in case everybody's wondering. Yeah. So, I know what dogs can do. Just two dogs can rip a man or a woman apart. And my brother, years ago, he was camping down by the river in Harrison County, and he said one morning he woke up and he heard some noise outside, and he looked, and there was about 5 or 6 big dogs. He don't know what kind they were, but they were huge, and they was real muscle looking and real healthy looking. And he said he was scared to death, and he just closed his tent back up. Hope they wouldn't get in the tent. But so I know that there are wild dogs. I know what they can do to people, but here we have a law enforcement officer telling you what's happened. I will go along with whatever he says happened because he knows a lot more than I do. I can only guess. Anything I say about it can only be supposition. But Martin knows about it, so I refer all the conclusions to him.
Something just popped up, and I'm not reading every single word, and I appreciate that, Barton. But Karen Peterson, thank you, ma'am. I see where you just put that up. That last attack within the last 3 days, Putnam County, Iowa. Putnam County, Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be, but guys, at this point, I'm sorry. I don't trust the news media about any report.
Nope. And
I'm not really beat straight with you. I don't trust a lot of law enforcement sources when it comes to these kinds of attacks. Now, I'm with the police. I'm absolutely 100% back to blue. There's blue in my heart, and my blood is blue, and will be till they lay me down. But when we hear of these attacks, and immediately they're going to attack, the first thing they do, and they did this in the Cock County victims, they're going to attack the integrity of the victim. Why all of a sudden it isn't so important that we find out, well, the victim was this, and the victim done that, and the victim's life was this? Why do we attack someone, a victim of one of these type of attacks, and we have to discredit the victim? I don't care what the human did. It doesn't matter what that human may have done or may not have. This poor soul was attacked by a creature, an animal, and was killed. I don't care what they did in their life. You notice I didn't say he or she.
Absolutely.
Right, yeah. Doesn't matter if they smoked a little pot before they died or whatever, drank a few beers, or something happened to them, and that's what we need to get to the bottom of. And I haven't yet heard about the Iowa attacks, and that's right down there over there with Roger. So maybe he can check on those. I haven't heard about them yet. I've been so busy since the conference.
Your little feelers in your ears, or your tentacles, your little human antenna that we have that regulates our feelings and our thoughts. When you hear of any witness that they immediately go on the attack of when, okay, we got another animal attack, let's per se, Kentucky, Tennessee, and that person is killed, and we got witnesses saying, oh, we saw this thing. And when you hear the news media attacking the victim, you ought to know by yourself you're getting a sham job of whatever these people are going to come out and say to you as to how they died.